Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So today I'm going to be talking about the different types of butcher tools that you can create. So we're going through a little video series right now on chasing tools, how to forge your own chasing tools, and I wanted to take and talk a little bit about the different types of edges that you can achieve. So I've written leading edge and back of tool for perspective points only, and so use those as references as I draw the material here. Now, the way that I'm drawing the tools is from a cutaway perspective. So that means if you cut the tool in half and looked at the end of it, this is what it would look like. So the first type that we have is just a straight butcher tool. Okay? And a straight butcher tool, there's not going to be much fantastic about it. It's going to have a leading edge, and this is going to be banked. This is going to have a bevel to it on the front edge of approximately, all of these will, of 60 degrees. There'll be a 60-degree bevel. So keep that in mind. There'll be a 60-degree bevel on all the leading edges of your butcher tools. So a butcher tool is anything that has a leading edge. That means you're cutting in some way and you're pushing away from that point. So there's just a flat butcher tool. That's an easy enough one to do. One of the next types of butcher tools to be obtained is what they call a convexed butcher tool, which looks like this, if you will. Again, a leading edge to it, as if you were to take and cut it away. So this here is curved in this direction, if you will. So if you picture this as a cutaway, as a complete pie slice, this is what the front leading edge of the butcher tool will look like, and also the entire crown, again at a 60-degree bevel. The next type is a concaved butcher tool. And so this is what that one will look like if you take and do a cutaway of it like so. So hopefully this is making sense. Those other additional lines are probably making it look a little more confusing. So there's a convexed, a concaved, and a straight butcher tool. So that's how the leading edges would look on these tools. Contrary to that, there's a whole additional set of tools that, once again, we'll be making, hopefully through a series of videos, that it is the back of the tool that is actually doing the convexing or the concaving. So if I were to take and draw that out now, I'm going to draw it down here. So on a straight butcher tool, you'll still have straight, but on the back of a butcher tool, if you will, I'll draw it over here, I got enough room. Now you can take and do a convexed back butcher of the tool. So this is still flat, but in the back it radiuses off. If you were to take and do a cutaway of it, it's radiused on the back side of the tool. There is a concaved version of that as well. Now, usually, once again, this is to get around very specific elements in your work. So you can have a concaved back edge of your butchering tool. And then you can also have it where they do both, to where you may have a concaved back with a convexed front. When you add that, you essentially get a curved chisel. Likewise, you can have a convexed back and have a concaved front. Again, having essentially a curved chisel. So this is all the various different things that you can have in just one butcher tool. Now, when you start getting into fullers, you can do all of this again. There's straight fullers, there's convexed fullers, there's concaved fullers, there's fullers of all sorts and shapes and sizes. Planishing tools, all made exactly the same. Again, all to take in, there's a whole myriad and a host that you can do. And the basic point of all this, I'll give you guys a second to screenshot this if you want. Now I'm going to wipe it away. The point of all this is to be able to get into very specific recesses. So take a scroll, if you will. To get in here and chase away material, you may have to get in a butcher tool that will come in at a concaved butcher tool, but also the back needs to be convexed to get in at this area in there. Likewise, if you come out here when it's bigger, you may only need a concaved front, but the back could be better supported and just be a straight back, and you do not need that extra curving or convexness. So you've got to have the concaved, but you don't have to have the convexed for that purpose. Same thing if you get in here and you're using a butchering tool. Again, these are all cutaways. You may need that convexed portion of it, but in the rear of it, because of the way that if you figure this in like little pie marks, because of the way that you're coming around here, you actually need this. You don't need this to be concaved. You just need it to be narrower at the back than the convex at the front of the tool. So I hope this makes sense whenever we're doing chasing projects. And this only gets more elaborate as you get into other scroll work and you're doing stuff like, you know, leaf-like shapes and things of that nature in chasing and whatnot. And you've got little tendrils and stuff you're dealing with, and you're trying to chase this into the side of something, and maybe you're trying to put a liner in there with like a little chisel to make this little S-curve in the leaflet to give it some more dimension. All these tools come into play, and they all serve a purpose. Now, one of the last things I'll talk about before I go on this is size. So the larger the radius of work that you're working on, you can get away with a much broader, much larger tool. Okay? So, you know, you can go as big as you like, really, within reason. So say that's 1/2 inch on scale. Say that's 1/2 inch or 12.5 mil on scale. Wide of a butcher and maybe 3/8 inch deep, or 9.5 mil. That's fine on those big curves. But then when you get down into these little curves here, you may need all these butcher tools again, but in, say, 3/16 of an inch across, or maybe 1/4 inch, or maybe even down as far as 1/8 inch material across to take and fit into these little tiny areas. Okay, so don't be afraid to take one type and style that you're working with and reproduce it from large all the way down small. I guarantee you in your work at some point you will use these. When I did an internship with Tom Latané, I actually got a look at all of his tools, and he has literally thousands of different shapes, different angles, different pitches, different curvatures, different degrees of curve on them, you name it. So there is no right and wrong way to make a chasing tool, and there is no end to the amount of chasing tools you can make. But to start with a good set, I recommend starting at about 1/2 inch or 12.5 mil and going through all the sizes to at least 1/4 inch or 6 mil. I recommend that in all of the different types that we use in chasing. The convex, the convex, the concaved, the flats, and all of the other hosts of them. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Was this video helpful to you? If it was, give it a like. And again, like always, God bless you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.